Recording. So it's my great pleasure to welcome onto the show Cory Gray. Cory, how are you?
Good, man. Morning time. Trying to catch some sun rays. Doing good.
Right. I'm out in my car recording this while my wife and daughter are asleep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, my son
get
and
me some
wife are
sun.
asleep. Same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice. So for those in the audience that don't know, who is Cory Gray? How'd you get into all this?
So if we're talking about like mesh networking, really I like the idea of open source. And I always say open source is the Trojan horse to globalism. That's kind of the way I see it because they don't realize the cat's out of the bag with mesh. It's open source, so we'll never go back. Unless they can find all the sneaky cyber guys' location of files, because open source, we have the files. So we've reached a new level. What got me into that was seeing that level we obtained is workable and at long range, like 84 miles. Even I did one at 184 miles and one at 84.6 miles. And the fact that we can get data that far is crazy with one hop. And I only did that one hop. So yeah, I just got into it. I was seeing that, and I was like, man, that can be developed off of, and we can do greater things with the mesh. And a lot of people started hitting me up that are into autonomous organization DAOs, and they want to implement this because it's one of the solutions. It's hard to jam, it's hard to hack, it's all that stuff. You got to be super serious hacker, crazy tech to even be worth your while to attack, because it bounces around. You can create a smart method, all kind of stuff. It would suck for a hacker. I can make it suck
Right.
for a hacker.
Nice. So we jumped right into mesh. Tell people that have no clue just what is mesh? What are we talking about?
All right, so we're talking about two devices. You can have a device like a cell phone. All right, they're clunky, but they work. You can text now, long range, 915 frequency. We're doing a frequency. So boom, boom, radio to radio. They're called LoRa radios, which stands for long range. And they use a chirp spectrum, chirp broadcast over a large bandwidth. I won't get too techie, but it's super unique. And it allows for a more reliable form of communication. In reality, if you understand frequency modulation a bit, right? You don't have to understand that. That's why I like assemble kits for people, because if you know a lot about what this code and where it's at, you can do a lot, and then you can build from it. So it's an open source mesh protocol instead of like typical GMRS, even sat phones, ham radios. You have a client that goes to a repeater, and that repeater to other clients. So everyone has to hit the repeater. Well, what about down in the valley way back? All of a sudden, you become the repeater in the mesh. So you have a repeater up high, for long line of sight to another repeater, and it can hop 7 times is the way it's set up. You can hop 7 times, and so every client handheld device acts as a repeater and make sure that the message intended for where it's going gets there. And you can make a smart network. They're making smart cities, but you can make your own smart network that does all kind of stuff. So that's what a lot of people are excited. That you own it. You get what I'm saying? So you run a Linux machine, open source, Linux, Ubuntu, whatever you feel like. But the point is you run it locally and control it. That's what's up.
Which is awesome. I know for a lot of people in the audience that have like homesteads and whatnot,
Yeah.
like this is great for covering. Like you could talk to people on your homestead. You could be texting people on the back, while they're chopping wood to make sure they're safe. All sorts of communication like that, and you're not. That's just for like a real small area, like 40 acres or whatever. You're
Yeah,
talking about massive areas, which is great. You're not paying the satellite phones a service fee, which is great. You're in control of your data, which is great. So I like that for a lot of those reasons.
Yeah, and it's encrypted. with AES 256 bit encryption.
which is even better because
Yep.
I know a lot of people in the community run like for home security and home like just general purpose needs on their homestead. They do like GMRS, which is, I
Everyone can
mean,
hear it.
everyone can hear it, right? There's no kind of security with that whatsoever.
AI can fake you out with it too. Expect that crazy stuff. These hacks are getting insane. Where they'll deploy like 40,000 calls with voice AI or audio, like however way they want. They have these big old farms, data farms.
Right, which is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, when you start talking about mesh, dude, you meet like some people that are crazy. There's crazy people, and then there's cool people, and then there's really cool people. But I've been like, whoa, what's up, guys? I'm seeing a lot of people. Almost the whole world's coming together on mesh is what's going on. It went viral, dude. I did one post, and it turned into 5 million views in a week or 10 days or so on Facebook. And I just shared it in a few groups, bang, bang, bang. And yeah, because like the FPVs are coming in, the like the drone mappers, the SDR guys, the hackers, the Internet of Things people that subscribed to Microsoft don't trust Microsoft now because it's got all this bad news, and they know I build computers, secure computers. And so I've talked with some of those people. It's just like everybody's converging on this. And the idea is, hold the source code accountable, keep it open, and then whatever, build GregNet, build Survival Punk MeshNet, like create your own protocol. It's open source, and then license that deal if you want. So that's what's going to happen. I mean, there's other meshes right now, and I'm sure plenty of these people, programmers, are testing their own mesh in different ways, because that's why I got in. I want to see, not to like sell some mesh or do anything like that, but I would like to have my own modifications on it that make it more resilient than where it's at. Yeah, because there's a feature on there, it should be working. It's not reliable yet, but I'm gonna get it to work. And I'm trying to do. I'm gonna do audio. People have already done it, so I know it can be done. But I think that has a much lower range. So maybe in open areas like 5 miles instead of 10.
Right. Yeah. I first heard about mesh like it would have been like 2014, 2015 or something, like pretty early on. And I didn't do anything near the level that you're doing. I scratched the surface of mesh. Like I ran an app on Android phones that made its own like little local network, and we were getting like voice and text. Yeah. Basically made it to a walkie-talkie, and we covered like a little homestead area, which was the fact that we were like where it was at. There was
through like a gateway is the way you got to do it. So I'm about to try that out. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean that was just ran through some janky old app, which has probably been developed or abandoned by now. Who knows? Yeah. But no cell phone service out in the boons where we're at, and we were talking to each other, I don't know, all over the property, which is pretty awesome. Yeah. And that was with no repeaters, nothing set up.
Probably like, and I'm like, no fine antennas.
No, just an Android app on normal phones.
The little thing that dangles that comes with the chips, they'll go long.
Yeah, and I mean, if you like,
it's surprising.
That's when I first thought about it.
Like when I see it, I'm like, dang, this is better than I thought. So,
yeah, and I mean, that's what I'm talking about next. Like, if someone wants to get into mesh, like, what's the starter kind of gear thing they should get? Like, what should they start with?
So, if you have time to learn it, what you need to do is you need to go to the documentation of Meshtastic and read every single bit of it. First step. That's the first rule of learning a software. You have to read all their docs because you have to know how they think, and then you go into their GitHub and read comments and stuff and get immersed in what they think and how they built this firmware. All right. And then you're going to test different chips. And I'll tell you the 3 chips, and you guys can go back to this if you want. Right now, the three main chips people are using is called Rack Wireless, RAK, and those are power efficient. They're a little bit brittle though, which I don't know why they couldn't have, because they're modular. They should have made them a little bit stronger, because if you're going to be removing stuff, you don't want to break it. And I broke one or two, but that's with like the little LoRa connectors. They just don't make that part very well. And then there's the Heltec 3 version 3, and what that does is it's a ESP32 basically, that a lot of people in the network pen testing or area hobbyists will understand that board, and that's pretty good for like router and stuff like that function. And then you have another one that's probably my favorite, the most reliable one I would say is the Heltec T114, and I use that for repeaters. I put them in things like this, all right, and it'll last like 10 days on this charge, and it's one of the most reliable chips on package relay, but it's slower because it only does that, you know. So I put these as like an extra portion to it's. I put it as a setting called router late. So I have one in my network of a family of 3, and what it does is it just makes sure after the message is broadcast once, it'll do it again just to make sure everyone got it. Those who didn't, check received. So it's cool to throw one of these in the mix, right? And then it also logs all my other devices on here on the screen better than the other ones. The other ones, you have cool interface. I mean, the newest version, it's in alpha stage testing. So I guess they're gonna, hopefully they put in beta because it's way better. But I mean, yeah, we're in alpha of a beta project, but we're still. I mean, it's gonna be beta for 10 more years. So, you know, probably until we crowd it out too much or something.
Right. And I mean,
Even then,
mesh has been around for a while, but it's still so in its infancy.
Yeah, because you can still go out in the woods and you're fine. So
yeah,
like out here,
and that's for the people that really want to dig in and nerd out. And then there's options like you sell stuff for people that just want they don't want to learn about the nuts and bolts. They just want solid, reliable, safe, secure like communication.
Yeah, I started building computers, is what I was doing, and I also built a ham radio kit. It's a computer kit. That's what I originally reached out to you for, was that, and I still sell those, and people are still interested. It's called the Off-Grid Computer and Communication Kit. It comes in an EMP bag like this right here, and has Baofangs, but it has a computer, Raspberry Pi 4, 8 gigabyte with a whole bunch of survival books, has like 1,000 survival books, has all the military manuals. It has all the repeaters for every state for amateur and some GMRS, all the open ones, also in Canada. So the idea was you could just flash all the repeaters on your radio at once, take a CSV file and then flash it through an app called Chirp. And I took that off grid. So it's on Linux, a little nice operating system with Chirp and some folders. So if the grid goes down, you have access to like 500,000 pages of documents. And I mean, got the Bible in there, all kind of cool stuff that you can preserve. And it has shortwave radio. And so it has SDR and it has an antenna and it has Dragon OS. So Dragon OS is my buddy that works over in the drone mapping, and he built some cool stuff. But Dragon OS is an operating system meant for penetration testers and signal analysis. And so that operating system comes on a separate USB stick. So you have 2 USB sticks in there. So it's like a pretty cool, and I put tiny AIs on it. So if you need an AI off grid, like a 1 billion parameter AI, you can talk to it. There's a 7 and it just takes a long time. You just wait for an hour and you can get a message. But so that's in the first kit. But then, I built mesh kit. So it turned into like, I just wanted secure comms for everybody, or the best they could get. And it turned into this. And I mean, I still love my SDR though. Like if I got SDR, I can tell if people are chirping around me, and what's going on around me. I can hook up Wireshark and all kind of stuff.
Nice. I know a lot of people in my audience probably will like that too. I mean, that sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah, there's a guy, he just like won, I saw a YouTube video. He won a contract. He created a Raspberry Pi, open sourced it. He says he's a Fed too. I was like, what? Because he worked for him for 22 years, but he created an awesome open source deal. And it was on YouTube. It's this box and it just has a screen and a Raspberry Pi. It's pretty cool though. And it's just a code that detects if Bluetooth devices have been following you, like if you're being stalked, so you can then stalk them back with some tools. It's open
Oh,
source
wow.
though. I forgot what it's called, but some Pi project, and he's open sourcing it, and that's a cool start to a new, because that can turn every American into a spy on who's spying on them, right? Signal back warfare. It's like, you know, if you believe in the spirit, there's like an opposite reaction for their actions, and it's like manifesting clearly to me the open source solutions, and that people realize the open source side is going to win. I've been saying it for over 5 years. Open source is the Trojan horse. You guys are building on sand, HTTPS still. Okay. DNS, dude. We could take all that and change it and put it in wherever we want. And make it all disappear in most cases, because they put their databases in the cloud and all this stuff. You can just erase a whole thing. So these people build stuff like this and act like they're going to rule the world. I'm like, dude, you don't even understand what you're building. So the open source engineers are way ahead. And a lot of people may not see this. I see it on X because I choose to follow certain people that are like Frontlines FPV or Frontlines chip creation, 3D printing and all that stuff, because that world's coming in to the mesh, and they're smart, and the gamers. Stop playing so many games, y'all. We need you.
Yeah. I just don't get that. But whatever makes them happy, I guess.
Yeah, well, crushing evil is fun, and helping the world to advance is funner than video games.
You know what? To take a little divergent, like I really feel like a lot of people just don't like. They don't have. I call it slaying a dragon, right?
Yeah.
Like they don't have any purpose in their life. They don't have like the epic thing they're going after. So they're just like, oh, I'll just play video games. I'll just fuck off. Like there's things out there. Like you can go find your dragon and you can slay it, or you could play video games all day. Like
Yeah, and make the evil programmers submit to the open source solution. That's kind of what I feel like right now, today at least. You can have many objectives that flow into the same plan of making the world a better place. You know, that's what I always tell people. Just ask God, or however you want to do it. But, you know, you should know God, in my opinion, and ask him, what can I do to help the world? And that's about the best way to hop in his will. You start doing what he tells you.
yeah.
And he'll get you excited about it. And that's what happened here too, by the way. It went viral, the mesh, because I show my sister, she likes prepping stuff, and she shared a photo in some prepper group, and it went viral in the group, and she tried to invite me in, and they deleted it. And so there were these Facebook gatekeeper little commies or whatever. They just deleted it. And so I jumped in, read the rules, and I did a post about mesh, bigger group, and it went viral. And then they kicked me out. And what happened was they're all asking, where's this mesh guy? Where's he at? And so I posted in all the mesh groups, and they found me, right? So it blew up, and all at once. So now people are needing kits, because it's not something, or I have to create like a course that's about 10 hours probably. It's a long course to like really help people understand this. I mean, I don't know, dude. People got to try to understand stuff. It's not that hard. I could tell my son in 5 minutes. My son's programming ninja games up there, and he just started learning 6 months ago. Yeah, I just kept him. He's 9, but people just got to apply. There's this line I see. Do you see it? Where people like don't want to try to learn new tech.
Yep.
You see those people, that group?
I see. That? Man, years ago, I worked at a photo lab, and somebody came in one time and was like, she wanted to print pictures off her digital camera. Like she was an old lady, like I don't know, 70 or something, right? She was like, "Can you do it for me? Because I just hate learning new things." And I was like, "Just get out of here!" Like when you stop wanting to learn, like you give up on life. I don't
Yeah,
get it.
that does seem like what. So yeah, it's like you can't really help those people, and almost because I'm thinking that because happening on scale, people are like, "What is this? Please teach it to me." I'm like, "Link it in the bio." I said it in the videos. Like, what are you messaging me for? And just craziest questions. One person is
Right.
like, "Hey, does this give me free internet and I don't have to pay monthly?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"No,
Yeah,
it's
I've
none
seen
of
that
that."
question
Yeah,
go around. Yeah. I
it
mean,
has nothing to do with that.
if I mean, eventually Mesh could be serving your own web pages on your own
Oh yeah,
intranet, right?
oh
Like
yeah,
you
and
could
your own
run your own,
coin, all that.
yeah,
Yeah.
but you're not going to get like YouTube with it. I don't know.
No, not YouTube with the Spectrum broadcast like this, but I mean, we're always innovating though. So maybe if you have like a 4 chip, or a big micro processor chip with all kind of connections, and hook up, because I had this idea to connect 4 repeaters together into one in 4 directions. So there'd be all kind of more processors. So it's possible, but you'd have to pass the power rate. We have a limit. That's the problem right there. Yeah. So but audio is what is feasible. But if we crank up the power, if the grid goes down, we'd be able to probably get video. We'd have to do compression on it, a lot of
Right.
compression, and it'd be
Right.
short.
I think if a community had mesh network set up for if the grid went down, that
Oh
would
yeah,
be a game changer. Like that, if you had two communities, right, and one had mesh and one didn't, the one with mesh would have a way higher survivability rate than the one
yeah.
without, because comms are everything.
Yeah, dude. One in the bush, tier 12, like everything. And it's just all, encrypted, low power, under 1 watt per transmission. And it does like 3 retries. And it's called chirp spectrum. So it does a chirp where, yeah, it's hard to explain without going down, but it's basically a bunch of lines within a bandwidth. And then they reverse and create a pattern, a spectrum. What's it called? Yeah, spectrum, a type of spectrum, a broader spectrum, the narrowband, 2.4 gigahertz, things like that. It's 900. So it creates this different type of frequency that's then decoded by another device, and then it will pass it on to the intended recipient. So, but in a what you're talking about is important, is if the grid went down, you can build your own network, but you can build your whole infrastructure from there, and you can have your own internet. I'll just say it, because you can connect Bluetooth low energy, you can have nodes, you could do that and have a functioning, at least like discussion board. You're not gonna have YouTube and stuff like that, but good enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, we should all consider that. And that group of people that I'm seeing, they call them DAOs, digital autonomous organization. I've heard of them, a lot, but I was always like, well, we're not there yet. The comms are kind of crazy. You got to broadcast it everywhere. That's what you guys are doing. And so now we have I guess that completes their link, the LoRa, stuff, the LoRa potential. But we got to deal
Awesome.
with chip makers too, guys. That's the other thing. So you got to hold them accountable, or we start building chips. So two countries, three, I'll shout out 3 countries that are doing pretty good. Yeah, I'm only giving 3. Germany, the UK, and America, okay, are leading the way in chip production and excellence. You know what I'm saying? These kids are printing them in their house and getting good at it. So that group of people, they interest me a lot. No. Any other thoughts about it?
Um,
Question?
that's people are making chips at home
Yeah.
in here.
Yeah. In America,
Wow.
yeah. And so they sell out right when they do it too, because everybody's like watching these producers. In the UK, I got one from the UK. I didn't know it's come from UK, but it did. And we have like trade deal now with them, so we don't have to pay no tax. So it actually is working pretty nice for these businesses. They know we need chips here in America. So, but we need bigger producers, and they're still trying to tax the heck out of everybody.
Right. I love how, and I've talked about this on my podcast a few times. Like historically, there have been massive industries, like too big to fail, that have just gone from history, and new ones just pop up. So like everyone's always like, "Oh, I missed this bubble or whatever." Like
Yeah.
there's always a new one coming. Like
Hmm.
there are a lot of jobs right now that are in danger because of AI, but now you got people making their own chips. Like there's a whole new market. Like
Yeah.
there's always a new market trying to come
Yeah. You
out.
can even have an AI scan a chip and say, what's going on? Give me a better one. Bang, print,
I
repeat. Like automation. Yeah. It's like, that's what I'm saying. There's people that have learned how to do AI type work and move at faster speed, and people who don't want to learn is pretty much, and then people who do want to learn and
right.
apply themselves. Yeah.
Um, AI has allowed me to go back to like I've 10x my podcasting with
Yeah.
ChatGPT. Like I basically had like a 2 year hiatus and I couldn't figure out really how to do it. And then I had like I hated writing show notes. Like I love talking on the recording. I love teaching, but I hate writing the show notes. And like ChatGPT helping me like outsource ideas for the show, write the show notes from the transcript. Just it allows me to work
Yeah.
so much more
Yeah.
faster and efficiently that I'm
Allows you
able
to
to put
even
out.
want to do a podcast, probably.
Do what?
It probably even helps to want to do a podcast, because
Yeah,
if you had to do all that yourself, because that's why I stopped doing podcasts, really. I didn't want to do all the work, but
it's time consuming.
yeah.
Like writing the podcast, researching topics and everything.
Yeah.
Um, so it's and it's still super early on too. Like the growth explosion there is going to be amazing.
Yeah, it's
And
probably going to go back there, especially if the internet keeps messing around. Starlink's been messing around, going off and stuff.
oh
No,
yeah,
only recently. Yeah, other people are noticing it that I'm talking to, but I don't know. Like, these actors have the potential to bring down the internet with a few command lines. Internet kill switch, like an internet kill switch. Obviously, like, I don't know, I haven't seen it or anything like that, but I could conceive of how to make one. And if I can conceive of it, I'm pretty sure somebody else has and and made it, or a bunch of people. It's probably a bunch of
right,
people. Like, there's
right.
probably 1,000 people that have made it. That's what people
I,
don't
I,
understand. They're like, they don't have one. I'm like, oh yeah, they do.
yeah. And I don't know about a whole wide internet kill switch, but I remember when I was a rebellious teenager, I read the Anarchist Cookbook like every good teenager,
Yeah.
and there
I
was
didn't read
one
it
in
till my
there.
30s, actually. It's on my, I think I put it on my off-grid kit, actually.
It should. I mean, a lot of the information's outdated now, but like for to
Yeah.
get a glimpse at what historically was there, it's pretty awesome. And there was one of the boxes, like the orange box, the black box. I don't remember. You put it next to a telephone pole and you start it up, and it melts the lines. Like you take the grid out for like a small
Oh, yeah.
area,
Yeah.
and I'm like, that was like I don't know, 40 years ago in a
Same
book or
tech.
something.
And they're using the same tech.
Right. The our power grid is not updated at all. Like it's still that thing would probably still work. Sadly, like they haven't secured the vulnerabilities in that in
Yeah.
like 40 years or whatever that this book was first written.
Well, they can wipe out the grid with a smart meter attack. I mean, they even have software for it already. I'm not going to say the names, but I mean,
Yeah.
they already know how to take out whole, and it takes out a whole, like, I'd say at least half a county when you do it.
Right.
Yeah. And it takes minimal effort. I mean, one machine can implement. I'm not gonna say a lot of those, and because they use a protocol called Zigbee. Guys, don't be using Zigbee unless you secure that. That's not the Internet of Things protocol, and that's outdated. They use outdated Zigbee with like no privacy at all on smart
Yeah.
meters. It's dangerous to have that on your house. I'm sorry to say that. I know you guys have them. That's not the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Tennessee is not really going like I haven't seen smart meters around here. I
Yeah.
don't think I think they're still the fairly old ones, but
Well, I just moved back to America. This house has one. Yep.
wow.
Yeah. Not in the house, but some people have them in the house. Yeah. But it's just for readings. It's not for it. It's so they can wirelessly read. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
But through that wireless connection, it's called Zigbee. In some cases, you can just connect and go back in with it.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I
There's no
think I'm
security.
coming up to the end of this. What do I have? Oh, I got one more question, and then I'll tell people where they can find you at and whatnot. Um, Looking ahead 5 to 10 years, where do you see technology going?
Well, I see it being a good stepping stone to helping people become like digitally sovereign as much as possible. And I think that people should go that way. If not, you're going into big tech smart cities, right? I think
Right.
there's probably going to there's going to be a little battle there of who wants to be lazy and zombied out. And they're going to go into the smart cities, which are going to just bake you, because that's not just 900 chirps, it's laser beam 10G all day across your brain in these smart cities, But so I would just say, like, I even wrote a book, talking about, it's a spiritual book. I'm a Christian, but I wrote a book, and the last chapter is about smart cities. I was like, Earth, you have a choice here: smart cities or Dominion, because the mayors are making the choices, guys. So you need to remember that. Like, that's what's up. We got to understand reality, in that the mayors make the decision of if your city can be a smart city. And most people don't know that. You should look that up, because if you're in a smart city, dude, you're there's a chance you may have to submit to their terms of service, because they
Yeah.
own the infrastructure. I mean, you are, because they own the infrastructure. So then what? And they have access to crazy tech emotional readers that can process emotions and all kind of stuff. You don't want that. So you can get out of that. And or at the people, and one last message: the people that are building those things, you can stop, okay? Because it's not good for humanity, and you know it. And you can join the evolution of open source. That's it. It's an evolution. We're not revolving. No more revolution. We're going to pass the evil people, and then they're going to work for us. That's my mindset. I read the Bible, and it says we have dominion. So, and I believed it, and it's been working. So
Awesome. I sadly, I know there are a lot of people that absolutely love the concept and would love to go into the smart cities, like the super iPhone people that just want stupid smart solutions and don't want to they don't want to own anything, and they will be happy.
I had one person admit, they're like, Cory, I'm so into it, I don't even know how to get out. And I was like, well, I can get you out. I was like, I felt like I had to save somebody, but they didn't want to. So
Right, they don't want to. So I mean, I kind of see it like being a schism. Like you'll have people that prefer more freedom and liberty, and they continue to move further out, and you get more freedom and liberty, and then you have the people that just they want to be slaves. I mean, that's just what they want.
For example, AI recommended we have this podcast for you all. So if you're hearing this, that was a crazy technological advancement connection. And it's because AI knew what his show was about through the notes that he gave prompts to it. And so I was able to connect to him and find out we may mesh, well.
Which is crazy. I'm going to try that trick to be like, who should I find? So
And
that's
it's
neat.
crazier, though, that is open source knowledge, because that proves that we're leaking all your conversations out to the general intelligence, or like Grok. Grok's getting it. Why not?
Yeah.
And lastly, I want to propose one question. Maybe we can talk about this later. But I have a feeling that Sam Altman and Elon are playing a game on humanity, that they don't like each other.
Absolutely.
Do you think that?
They're probably.
Yeah.
I think every billionaire is secretly friends. Like they're just like it's like just make believe internet beef. They're like, and like, so Elon and Trump had their little beef going, but like then Elon like gave, I don't know, a couple
And he
$1 million to
just
his
went
pack,
into
and
all the government with his little dudes. Like, that's a stupid dude. I'm like, man, that guy planned
yeah,
it out with his AI. His AI weaseled him in, you know?
yep.
Yeah, yeah.
So
The weasel.
I
But he
like
better do
Elon, but I
right
don't
because
trust him.
yeah, he better do right because there's a lot of smart people out there, not just like smart as him, you know, in certain
Right.
areas or smarter. So he's not, you know, they're not gonna. They're man. I have a thought that they want to control America. I don't well through tech together, and you can see that kind of in like Elon's record of, for me, just his statements and the people he's been around with, the technocrats and stuff, and what they think and what they say. So I ain't a
Yeah.
technocrat, and I won't be. So
I I don't think you get to be to that level of richness a success without being in the system somewhat. Like I don't feel like you have like a rogue, like you and me aren't going to go become billionaires. It ain't going to happen. We
I'm
can be wealthy and
believing for
successful.
it. I'm believing for all the evil people that work for me. So maybe
I mean, best of luck, man. I hope
uh,
you get it.
that'd be cool. Why not? God's done things like that before.
It's
King
true.
David. That's a crazy story.
Yep.
No.
So where can people find you? Where can people check out what you're doing?
So I have a website that I basically just put like top 10 solutions I have out right now. And you go to kingdombusinesslifestyle.com right there. And there's some videos. If you go there, the first link will take you to a little library of videos on Meshtastic and the protocol that we're using, firmware we're using. And I have different packages and I can create custom ones, whatever. But I had to create certain packages. And yeah, there's other stuff there. You can do whatever. Get on my list. Shoot me an email. My contact info is there.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, it's been great talking to you, Cory.
All right.
I think this podcast is going to go out, I don't know, in a few days, probably Friday, Thursday or Friday. And then I'll shoot you an email when it goes live.
All right, man. Cool.
All right. It's been good talking to you.
You too. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.